Hey everyone, finally back in nature out here. Let's talk a little bit about our spirit guides today. So everyone pretty much comes here with a team of guides. They can manifest, or they are in the form of ascended masters, like even Christ or Buddha. You can have him as your guide if you choose to call on him or them, or if they are already assigned to you from the beginning. In form of angels, you can have angel guides, and these angel guides they can help you pretty much with any scenario in your life. Also specific spirit guides as well. So say you're like struggling financially, or you need some financial assistance or financial knowledge or anything regarding financial situations, you'll be sent these sort of financial guides or financial angels that will help you with the problem and will then leave once you're done, once you don't need their help anymore. Because in essence, you are calling on them, right? So they're these guides. They cannot help you without your choice, without your asking for it. Can't impose on your free will. Therefore, it's on you to ask for their assistance. It's on you to also follow their advice, because if you ask for help and then do the opposite every time, they're just gonna retreat, and they're not necessarily gonna give you that advice anymore until you're truly ready to listen. So yeah, and this can manifest in any situation. So basically, wherever you need help in, you're not by yourself. You're not alone. That's what everyone has the common misconception of, that we feel alone, therefore we are alone, but we can't perceive these other dimensions that are around us. We can't physically see the guide in front of us, therefore they don't exist, but that's not true. And you can tell, the more spiritual you get, the more knowledge you acquire about these types of guides, the more you start to understand how they're actually drawn to you and how they're calling you, right? So you can communicate to them through numbers, through other people, because let's say, or through even your thoughts. Let's say you're communicating to them through your thoughts or something, or you get some sort of intuitive sign, and you don't necessarily take it as much. They'll send another person to say something to you out of the blue as confirmation, or they'll send some sort of crystal that you'll feel drawn to, and when you look up the meaning, it has specific qualities that can assist you with exactly what you need help in that moment. They can send you in forms of numbers, which are the most malleable in this dimension. They're most easily used by them. And they can send synchronistic numbers, and then once you look up their meaning, then you'll understand their message. Okay? So it's all about being more intuitive and aware of the things going on around you. What sort of repeating patterns are happening? Are you noticing something that keeps repeating in your life? Because more than likely it's a message from your spirit guides. Okay, and these guides, most of them, I would say, are future versions of yourself. Okay, so if you may have heard of parallel realities, parallel timelines, in which you have accomplished other things, or you may have lived different lives, they still end up in the destination that you may want to achieve in this lifetime. So even though, let's say, in another timeline, I'm a painter or something of that nature, if I want to access that painting timeline or those painting skill sets, I can directly communicate with that future version of myself, right? If I want to access more spiritual guidance, I can directly communicate with them. But even all those individual versions of myself, they still want the best for me, right? So they're gonna think back to all the suffering they may have had and all the different paths they may have taken, and they'll say, maybe if I did this differently, I could have affected this, and this would have led me down a different path, and it would have caused me less suffering, and I would have gotten the lesson without needing to suffer, in a sense. Understand? So the same way we are doing when we think back of our own memories, how could I have done that differently? We're essentially reaching out to a previous version of ourselves, communicating with them, because time exists all at once. It's not linear, it's circular, right? So you can take a circle, you can take a point on the circle and say, this is where I want to be in time, because it's all connected, right? It's all united. So knowing that, you can easily access a parallel dimension of yourself, or parallel reality, in which you see that version of yourself, and you can, send it guidance if it wants to be guided, right? So we're constantly trying to communicate with each other through different timelines for the benefit of our spiritual evolution and our ascension. Okay, so basic message is be aware of the signs around you, and you're not alone. Okay, you got a whole team of guides here. You didn't come here by yourself, like you're left in the wild, stranded. You pretty much came here with a GPS, map, cell phone, everything you want. But if you don't use them, then that's your choice. So you can wander aimlessly through the wild all you want, or you can use the tools that you're given. But obviously some people aren't aware of these tools. So yeah, the way I try to communicate intuitively, right, through my thoughts. So I will think of a question. I'll ask directly to God, my guides, my higher self, because the guides are mainly your guides connect you to your higher self, and your higher self connects you to God. So it's kind of like intermediary. You don't have to talk directly to your God. You can talk directly to God if you want. But they serve their purpose in helping you. So you can ask a question. You can maybe receive an intuitive answer. Maybe you're not as good at with it yet. So maybe you seek some sort of external validation. Perfectly all right. Not necessary whatsoever, but perfectly all right. And then you receive, say you're asking God, is this a good situation or a good path to be on? Is it okay if I choose this path? And then you hear intuitive yes. Okay. The next thing you see is a truck with a license plate 444. 444 means protection, divinely guided, right? So you can use that as a form of confirmation. Okay. So yeah, experiment with this, see what happens, see if you can notice anything repeating. Like at first you'd be like, oh, that's a coincidence, so there's no way. I don't believe in such things. Coincidences, everything is very synchronistic and divinely guided, but the more you experience, the more of these coincidences you'll see. And then how many coincidences does it take until you realize that it's impossible for that much to happen, right? So try it out, okay? And post in the comments what you may have found, okay? All right, guys, I'm gonna continue my walk here on this beautiful nature trail, and you guys have a good one. Bye.